Switzerland's against mass migration referendum passed by popular majority on February 9th is meant to cap the number of immigrants the country annually permits, which reached 80,000 in 2013. The referendum, however, is in direct conflict with the Swiss-EU bilateral agreement of the freedom of movement of persons and labor. Marco Sassoli, professor of international law at the University of Geneva, says there are two paths the government may take to preserve EU-Swiss relations.
We could, but this is very much against Swiss political culture. It is seen as something very, not unusual, but contrary to democracy. If you lost a vote, you immediately say, we try again. So theoretically, tomorrow we can start to collect 100,000 signatures, and if we get them, then there will be a new vote over, for instance, theoretically, this constitutional provision. While another thing which happens sometimes is you may ask the referendum against the law, and you need only 50,000 signatures, and you don't need all the cantons, you don't need the majority of the cantons, you only need the majority of the people. And if the referendum against the law is accepted, then the law doesn't enter into force.
A guillotine clause is attached to the bilateral agreements, meaning Switzerland's referendum could create a domino effect, allowing these agreements to fall.
One day, in 3.5 years, there will be a French citizen who is one person more than the contingent in the law, wants to start a job here, and they tell him, no, you can't. And this then means that Switzerland violates the treaty, and then the treaty doesn't say as soon as there's a violation, all the treaties are over. Obviously, the EU could denounce the treaty and therefore all the treaties. But it will not do that, because it will rather say, we want you to respect these treaties. And Switzerland will not denounce it. So what they do now for 3 years is probably to negotiate. But the Swiss negotiation position is not very strong.
The Swiss government has 3 years to legislate and implement the referendum.